Alright, friends and fans, we are back with the next chapter of our Mountain Blade adventure. So in this episode, we're going to be focusing on making money, gearing up, and trying to make a little bit of our name of ourselves in this world of Calradia. So first things first is we're going to want to go to a city, somewhere where we can, get noticed. So the nearest place here is Odok. That's going to be the Kuzate place. You want to try and make a, do tournaments and missions and stuff in the area where you're trying to make your little base, because it does behoove you to get a good relationship with the local nobles so that you can recruit better troops from them later on. Now, we do have the maximum amount of people that we have right now, which is 20, which isn't very much, so we're not really going to be looking to fight other people. Normally you would think, the best way to make a name for yourself would be to fight in, battles and other armies and stuff like that, but it's just too risky, and it's a lot easier and more profitable to go ahead and do tournaments early on, because you can just level up your personal skills, get your own armor and stuff like that up. That way you yourself aren't dying when you go into these battles with all your men. That being said, let's go kill some looters. I will never say no to a decent sized group of looters, because that's just free experience and money and stuff. So yeah, go ahead and surrender if you think. No, see, never surrender. They never surrender. Alright, I'm going to go straight into this battle here. So something I didn't mention in the last video is a couple of quick tips. If you double tap W, you can get your horse into a good gallop right off the bat. Look at that go. And then if you double tap S, you can do the same with stopping. So you can go into a gallop and slam the brakes. So I'm going to do what I showed you guys before in the last video. I'm going to show you guys how to charge. We're going to charge these guys right in there. And we've got some of our upgraded troops from our last video in there, so let's see how they do. Alright, look at that. Just stab in the face. I love seeing the rocks they throw at my horse's butt and just bounces off like nothing. Like they really think it's gonna do something, but prob's not. Boom. So we've technically already won because these guys are cowards. We only killed half of them, but the rest of them are running. Let's just take them out. Oh wow. Right underneath my arm. I don't even care. Let's go. Now I think that the audio might be a little bit loud over my voice, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down a little bit for you guys. See if that's a little bit easier to hear me. Let's go ahead. And let's pop our prisoners over and upgrade our people. I'm actually going to hold off on upgrading the nomads, because I'd like them to become, I want them to go straight into the tribal warriors and start getting some mounted units, because if I upgrade them beforehand, then I won't have any more units to become mounted. On that same note, these mounted units are going to be mounted archers, so I'm not going to bother with any on-foot archers, because that just seems redundant to me. I'm going to make the rest of them spearmen. If we win this tournament, let's use some of the money to buy some horses. Alright, let's go ahead and tick off some of this beer and grapes and fish. See, we're getting a healthier diet for our men already. Now, the more diverse your diet is, the happier your people will be, the higher the morale. You can even see there's a food variety bonus right there at the bottom. We're getting +2. That's in the late game pretty key, especially if you're doing a lot of horrible things like raiding villages and killing farmers, you're going to want to at least give your people some beer after that to forget about it. So we've got a skill leveled up here. You can see that from this little shield symbol. That means you can pick one of your skills to choose from. So it looks like you can get blocks with one-handed weapon. They're 50% stronger against crush throughs, or shield bashes do 50% more damage. Neither of those are particularly great because you're either blocking with a shield or attacking with a one-handed weapon. You're not attacking with a shield and blocking with the weapon. But hey, let's do it. Now, this confused me a little bit when I first did it. The little focus points here, that will determine the rate at which you gain experience in that skill. I'm going to repeat that again. So the more focus points you have in a skill increases the rate at which you get experience in that skill. So if you have all of these focus points in one-handed, then every time you use one-handed, it's going to go up exponentially faster than if you didn't have those focus points in there. Additionally, without focus points, you won't be able to even get to the late game stuff. It won't go past this little green arrow. So we're going to go ahead and want to put our focus points into things that we're going to use. We know that we're going to be using that pole arm that we've been riding around with for a while. And speaking of riding, we're doing that too. So let's go ahead and do that. We're not going to do anything in the bow yet because we don't even have one yet. So let's finish that up before we get into a tournament, just in case we need any of those abilities in the combats to come. Now, how did I know there was going to be a tournament there? Because tournaments are super common. I really didn't know that there was going to be a tournament there, but odds are there's going to be one in one of the major cities. If there's not, just go to the next one. Or if you really just want to be sure of where it is, you can go to the arena and talk to the guy who runs the arena and ask him where the tournaments are in the nearby towns, and you can just go there. So before we go in, we don't want to forget to trade the stuff that we got from all of our looters. And remember, since our stuff is ticked, like I showed you in the first video, you can trade everything that isn't ticked, and it shouldn't get rid of any of our food, and just get us some pure gold, or dinars as they're called. And here you can also go to the tavern district and ransom your prisoners. You want to be sure to do that. You also want to see if there's any interesting followers in there. This guy's just a pretty boring one, so we're going to ignore him. But we'll come back to followers later if there's a good companion there who we want to take with us. So I think we are good. We can have 21 troops. Alright, let's go ahead and join that tournament. Now, before you join a tournament, nobody likes to lose a tournament. It's pretty crushing and annoying. So before you click join tournament, just remind yourself to go ahead and do either a quick save or a save as. I'm going to save as. And we're going to overwrite it. And let's go ahead and join that tournament. Now, just in case we do happen to lose, we can just go back. So it looks like we're competing for a one-handed sword. As you can see, they don't quite have the text finished in their coding yet. You can see under ID it says Broad ILD Sword T3, which is clearly just code. That's nonsense. Which is why it says Broad ILD as the name of the sword. But it's a decent sword. Don't let that fool you. So the way that the tournament is set up is going to be randomized, but the weapons that you're using and the type of combat that it's going to be in general are based off of the region that you're in and the faction that's ruling it. So if you're in the deserts, around here, for example, just because they're mounted archers, don't be surprised if you're going to see a lot of mounted archers in the combats. I always bet on myself as much as possible, especially since we saved beforehand. What do you really have to lose? And that's just a great way to make some money, get some gear, and get some experience from the fighting, which we're going to do now. There's those mounted archers. So if you're a little nervous about getting right into the melee, just stay up, and especially if you're fighting with a team, just stay off to the side and watch how they're doing, and kind of let them take the initial attention and then swoop in and help them out. Like, this guy's going to get outnumbered. Got him. and just keep picking off the people who are bugging your buddies. You want to just make sure that your team is the team with the most amount of people on it. If you start getting outnumbered, it starts getting out of hand really quickly, and that's going to be a problem. Oh, gosh, he moved right at the last second. Let's get this guy on foot whose horse died. Ooh. I am not great with pole arms, I'll tell you that right now. They are fantastic weapons, but you gotta practice. I always prefer one-handed. Ooh, now. Honestly, I could just let our team just duke this out. The nice thing is that you do regain health fully after each combat. That's something else I'll just note while I watch my team finish this up for us. The health that you have going into a tournament is the health that you'll have at the start of each round. So if you go into the city with half health before joining the tournament, you're going to have half health at the top of every single round, and that's a huge loss when you're trying to win it all. So try to heal up for a little bit. Don't miss the start of the tournament, but heal up as long as you can before you join a tournament, or you'll just be at a huge disadvantage. Gosh, look at this guy's armor against us. This shouldn't work. I have no business being alive against this guy. Come on. So you'll notice that every time I'm attacking, I am moving forward. Pole arms and, well, most weapons in this game in general have a speed bonus. You'll say on the left-hand side, relative movement speed bonus. That's because if you're moving at the same speed along with somebody and you stab them in the back, you're not going to do nearly as much damage as if you're going in a head-on collision and you send a spear through his face. It contributes to your attack. So you always want to run forward and try and shove your spear like that right through his face. That's just the key to success right there. So if you're not in the round, you can watch it if you really want, but we ain't got time for that. So let's go ahead and jump into the next one. It's going to be a one-on-one fight. Same weapons. Bring it. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah? That wasn't a glitch. He literally just stood there like that for a second. Don't know why. Alright, so looks like we're facing the Khuzait Militia Veteran Spearman the Third. Made up that last part, but might as well. One and done. One and done. Sent that right through the noggin. Alright. So we're going to collect our money. So Renown is what you need to level up your clan. I'll show you a little bit more about that in just a second. Obviously, we've got our sword and our earnings from all of our bets. This is cumulative, including the money that we put in. So we're going to go ahead and leave and drool over our new amount of money. Look at that. Just gained so much money. So we're going to go ahead and buy some horses like we promised before I forget. So when you're buying horses for your soldiers, you want to make sure that at the bottom of this right listing thing, it says horse type horse. I know that sounds redundant, and it is, but horse type horse, even though it says type horse, because this one says type horse, the mule, but it doesn't say it at the bottom. That means that your soldiers will not be able to ride the mule, but they will be able to ride the steppe horse. So we're going to take those, and I'm definitely going to equip that, and we're going to sell our mace, even though it's nice, just it's not, not the best. And it couldn't hurt to take some pack mules too, if we have the money, which we do, just because they will increase your carry weight significantly. Watch that go up from 650 there. Darn, there I went all the way down to the bottom. Bam, to 1,150. And we're going to tick those off just so we don't sell them. and hit done. We're still going to be profiting thanks to the the mace that we sold. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and make sure that we don't forget to. Oh, see, I already forgot. But let me go ahead and show you more about that renown that we just got for winning the tournament. And that was, so you have your clan page here. You can access that by pressing L or pressing this little lion head in the bottom left. And there you can see everything about your clan, any companions you have. You can see any fiefs you're carrying, parties, etc., as well as your general expenses and most importantly, your renown and your clan tier. Your clan tier is determined by your renown, and when you hit clan tier 2, which is at 150 renown, currently we have 50, you can recruit a lot more people, you can have more companions. Every time you level up a clan tier, you become more influential and more powerful. So these are really good landmarks just to keep in the back of your mind. So we're trying to shoot for 150. We just want to keep that in mind, that we are going for, renown. We are trying to make a name for ourselves, and we're trying to constantly keep doing things that get us renown. So we're done there. We've already recruited all the troops that we need. We're healed up. We've equipped everything. Not sure what it was I forgot earlier. Oh, now I do. Party, which can be accessed with P. I wanted to go in here and see how I can now put these guys on horses now that we've bought horses. And now, even though it's super early in the game, we can already get horses. Also, the renown that we got from our tournament apparently allowed us to get more people. So we can now have an army of 46 already, and we've only had one combat, one tournament, and we're already cruising along here. Let's see if there's anybody we can get from here. There is. Let's just take them all. I don't particularly care about getting high tier units right off the bat from a recruitment. I don't mind getting the base level footman peasant guys. What are they called? Nomads in this faction. I don't mind getting them because leveling them up is fun, and you can also choose more specifically which ones you would like. Make sure that they're all evened out, and you can have your army neat and trim. Let's go to the next city. Hey, free experience. Yeah, let's see if we can get them. Got him. Go ahead and fight. Whenever you send troops, for some reason, your troops will just do so much worse than if you were there. It's absolutely ridiculous, but you might as well just always go in. Let's watch how our new horse archers go in and take care of these guys. This is why I joined this faction right here. You can't touch these guys. Watch this. Of course, they're going to try throwing their rocks at me. See how they just circle, unless I run into them, of course. Infantry carried it, but yeah, infantry mostly carried it, but look at that. We can get some more horse archers, make them more efficient, get some prisoners, make some money. Another reason to always kill looters is that they can just give you some food to keep sustaining your people. Get some good food variety in there. Some stuff that you might not see in the market in the area. Alright, what can we recruit here? Done. No tournament. Leave. Let's recruit some more people. Let's go towards what? Ortengard. That. Do that. Okay, quick note on hideouts. Don't do them. They've made them better than they were when the game released, and if you die in them, you don't lose everything. But when you go into them, for some reason, it just takes a random selection of your units to go in with you, like 10. You could have an army of 100 outside, and it'll take like your 10 worst units, and you could just go in and die. It's a waste of time. There's no real payout. Just, I mean, do them at your own risk, basically, but I ignore them nowadays. I used to do them all the time because in the first game they were really practical, and you increased your relation with the surrounding lords a little bit, but just it's not worth it. I've totally can get by without it. We can take another 8, I can take another 9, but let's see if there's a companion in order to in that. Let's see if there's a companion in that, and if there is, the fatherless. That's a nice way of saying it. I'm pretty sure they had a different word for it back then when you were fatherless. No tournament. Only a little bit to trade because of that fight we were in. Yay. Done. We already did that. Alright. So, oh, we didn't recruit troops. Oh, I can get 48 now. For some reason. Alright, so we are good. Why don't we buy a little bit more food? We're down to 6 days worth of food. And it's not like I can't afford it. So when you're shopping for food, or generally anything, but most importantly food, you want to look at the price on the side. If the price shows up green, that means that it's a really good price for that region. It means that it's definitely a good idea to buy whatever that is in this region. If it is normal color, then it is just normal. It's just null. And red is of course bad. You don't really want to bother buying that. Let's get some cheese. I always want to buy beer for my people when I can. Keep them happy. It is good for morale. It'll also tell you if you have even the slightest bit of trade inkling, which we do because we spent some time in there as a kid. It tells you how much these things will buy or sell for in other places. So the thing that we got for the best price, though, for some reason doesn't have any trade rumors about it. But yeah, if you were really going trade, you could really start paying attention to that, and the more you go into trade, the more information it'll show you. Not into that, though. I'm into ruling armies. So I think we're good here. We've got as many people as we can possibly hold. Let's go and start looking around at the lay of the land. It looks like there's a battle here. So I think the Kuze are at war with the Empire. At least these guys. But we'll have to see what we want to do with our newly acquired men. The best thing to do early on, I would think, would be to continue going to some tournaments. I'm going to do a couple of those probably off screen, get some more gear, get some more money, and just kind of repeat that process that you've just seen. So that way we can get some more gear, and then once we get a couple of tournaments under our belt, just, that way we don't have cloth, we just have, at least have leather or metal armor of some kind. Then we can start swearing to a lord, and I'll show you guys how to do that in the next episode. We can go and find somebody of the Kuze nobles, swear to them, and start following some armies around and take place in some larger battles. Just jump right into it. I usually find that that's the easiest thing, just to start making money and getting your name out there early on, after, of course, the tournaments. So I'll sketch you guys after that. If you're following along in your own game, go ahead and do some tournaments of your own and catch up with me in a little bit. If you go up a clan tier, you're probably due to come back and check in on another episode. Catch you guys in the next one. It's been a pleasure, and as always, see you next time.